It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, September 24th, and holy shiitake mushrooms. We have quite an episode because the stories don't stop. My brain has not stopped moving. I have been on a Diddy deep dive. Diddy deep of Donna. No, I don't want to be anywhere near Diddy. I don't want to go anywhere deep with Diddy except with you guys on this show. So if you think that you're going to escape some Diddy chat, this is not the show for you. I will tell you, a lot of you guys really like talking about it in the notes yesterday in the comments. A lot of you guys really like talking about it. So as more stuff keeps kind of like popping out to me, and you guys are killing it with the DMs, sending me all kinds of things you're finding. It's all like, it's just so wild. You just don't know that it can get worse. Like, you don't know how it can get worse. So this is Daily Dose of Diddy. I mean, this is Daily Dose of Donna. You're safe, guys. You're safe here. I had another stressful morning today. Being a mom is no joke. Being a mom is like, listen, I understand. When you have a kid, you're like, I am dedicating my life towards making sure that you're healthy, happy, safe, etc. And then they wake up and they're like, I think I have pink eye. And you're like, gosh, dang, my workout is done. I was supposed to be on Zach Peters' show this morning. I had to cancel that. Took him to urgent care. Urgent care was closed. Took him to the doctor's office. The guy has allergies. There's no pink eye in this house. We are pink eye free. We are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but pink eye free. Now, this is a separate little moment. Have any of you guys felt higher allergies than normal in 2024? Like, I don't understand what's going on. I grew up here in Los Angeles. I never once had seasonal allergies. It's not something I've ever had. This is not an ad. I'm not about to jump into a Claritin ad. This is literally just like trials and tribulations of being a human being. I have been sneezing my way through life. Sneezing morning to night. What's up with that? By the way, I am also watching Chaos. That's Kaos, and it's on Netflix. Some of you guys told me to watch it, and it's Jeff Goldblum. He's like the main star of the show. Actually, a lot of the other actors are pretty kind of like not super uber recognizable names. And it's a phenomenal show, but it's dark, it's dirty, it's got all those things. But the Greek mythology story is pretty crazy. Like, I never really knew a lot about, I was never someone that really studied Greek mythology. It was never of like very much it just wasn't that interesting to me. But the way that they do this, it's in modern times. And Jeff Goldblum plays Zeus, which is the god of the gods, right? And there's all the gods under him. And then there's all the human beings. And like everyone has a different kind of personality that is related to Greek mythology. It's a pretty cool show. So if you guys are interested in a new 1 hour show to watch, I don't know if there's that many episodes, but I think we're on episode like 6 or something. We're trying to get through it. Other than that, in the TV landscape, nothing really else is happening. Like last night, I didn't see any new TV. Although I do want to talk about very briefly, because I haven't watched it yet, but it would be remiss of me not to talk about this. I saw this on this Instagram account, Stand With Us. So there is a documentary that is out on Paramount Plus, and it's about the Nova the Nova Festival, and about October 7th. And if you guys know, this is a passion of mine to talk about and spread the word. For those of you guys that don't really know a lot about it, I try to, not get political. And it's so sad that this even became a political situation. And I definitely don't want to get into a heightened conversation. But the truth is, tragedy struck on October 7th in a way that that country has never seen before. And Israel, when I say that country. And Paramount Plus has released a documentary. I just saw the ad about it, and it's called "We Will Dance Again," which is a very big kind of motto because a huge, Hamas, the terrorist organization, literally jumped out of planes and parachuted and drove in and motorcycled in and sieged this music festival in the middle of the desert, like a Coachella, right? And so many hundreds of people lost their lives that day, lost limbs that day, became incredibly, you know, injured, and many of them were taken as hostage and still have not been returned and still are missing. And that is always weighing in the back of my mind. We're almost a year into this, and there's this new campaign that's out online about like who you were post the last picture of you on October 6th. And when I tell you, it's not dramatic to say we are not the same. If you are someone that is connected to this in any capacity, we are not the same. Like on October 6th versus where I am now, we're not the same at all. Right. And it's a really important thing. And it reminds me, like, my mom took me to go watch Schindler's List when I was a very young kid. And I remember being in the theaters at Schindler's List with my sister and our two best friends that lived across the street from us. And we got a big stack of napkins from the popcorn concession area. And we knew we were gonna cry. We had heard we were gonna cry, but this is before social media. Like, we were young. I can't remember when Schindler's List came out, early 90s, and I was, 12, 13. I remember being in a sold out theater, though, in Hollywood, and everyone collectively sobbing because that is one of the most tragic movies, and still to this day, the theme song to Schindler's List, like, will send chills through my spine, right? It's one of those moments. That being said, these things are hard to watch. And it's, like, almost tough. It's like, do we wanna even put ourselves through watching these things that make us feel bad? But I do believe that they're so essential to watch. It's essential to watch, especially for anyone that, um, wants to learn about, like, the past and their history and stuff. So, I believe, you know, I believe Jews from now until, forever will know about October 7th. It will be studied about and it will be in their history books. And it will be another reason to kind of make them who they are. And as you guys know, I'm very passionate about this. And I know a lot of you guys are in the comments too. And it's really like, I don't talk about being Jewish all the time. Obviously, I wear my Magen David on my uh, hand. It's very important to me. It's a big part of who I am. I'm not religious, but I'm very, very connected to Judaism, to Israel, and the culture. So, like that or not like that, this is who I am, and I'm not going to ever shy away from that. In fact, I'm like so proud of it. I went to a party over the weekend, and one of the girls that was there, one of the women, had this beautiful Star of David ring on her finger, and I had this, and it's like you kind of look at each other, and you're like, Mishpacha, we're family. That's how you say family in Hebrew. Okay. So we are going to move on and talk about all kinds of other things. Thank you so much for your support in the comments. And if you don't support and you don't, like that about me, then I'm so sorry. And, unfortunately, that's not going to change. This is who I am. I was born this way. I'm like Lady Gaga. Okay. I was born this way, baby. Now, let's move on to some of the stories. Before we get into the stories, I do want to talk about iRESTORE. I showed it yesterday. I'll show it again tomorrow, but I left it upstairs. And the reason why is because we use it every night. While we're watching Chaos, we're using the iRESTORE helmet. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, iRESTORE is the most incredible, clinically proven advanced hair growth system designed for women who want to say goodbye to thinning hair. And as you guys know, I've got some fine hair, and I'm not going to make you guys see, but I wonder if I'm thinning in there too. So I need to work on this. Thank you, iRESTORE. And so say goodbye to thinning hair and hello to volume. We all know the struggle. Our hairbrush is getting filled with hair. Our shower, walls have hair on them. Gross, right? And like the drains, and it's all like blah. Hair loss is a huge part of the women experience. And I should say the man experience too. In fact, I think it's like a really big hair loss is really big around perimenopause and menopause. So if you're dealing with this, you have to consider getting the iRESTORE Elite. It's the most powerful device on the market. It has over 500 lasers and LEDs to provide maximum scalp coverage to help you grow thicker, longer, healthier hair. The most important thing about this is that it's drug-free, it's pain-free. You don't have to go and get like any sort of implants or transplants or stem cells like Jeff Lewis does. None of that, right? This is all you have to do is just sit back and watch Chaos, the show, or any other show, and put that helmet on, and your hair will grow in 3 months. It's 12 minutes long each session. It's totally comfortable. It's totally easy to use. Honestly, it looks kind of slick. I'll take a picture of Lance using it tonight. I'm sure he'll really appreciate that. So if you guys use my code Daily Dose, I told you yesterday $600, but I found out it's actually $625 off. Code Daily Dose. If you go to iRESTORE.com, I have a link right below where you can click directly on that link. Use code Daily Dose, and they have, they have a lot of information there, so you can ask it any FAQs that you have to get medical grade red light treatment at home to regrow your hair. Use code Daily Dose at iRESTORE.com. Okay. So many things to talk about today. Let's get into some of the smaller ones. The smaller ones, like the smaller little, like hot topic type stories. I thought this story was funny. Mary Cosby. Mary Cosby, who is one of my favorites on Housewives of Salt Lake City. In fact, I think she's actually one of my favorite housewives. I know she's definitely not your typical likable housewife, but she is the comic relief we all need. And I don't get offended very easily by comedy like that. I understand I'm not at the receiving end of Mary's comments. If she called me inbred, maybe I would cry, but I really, really do like Mary Cosby. And she perplexes fans with a heavily edited confessional look. So there is a confessional look on Instagram that Mary Cosby captioned the post with a bunch of hashtags, including hashtag God First, the names for makeup and hairstylist. And so she basically is taking a confessional look from the show, and she is putting it on her Instagram and completely face tuning the shit out of this. Like Kim Kardashian could never. Look at the difference between the original, which is down here, and this one. I find it hysterical. I can't even make it bigger for you guys, but I think you can see it. There is like such a difference. Like the bottom is Mary Cosby and the top is Sherry Shosby. Like it is completely different. And I thought it was just such a funny story because Mary Cosby, like of all people that did that, the fact that it's Mary Cosby for some reason makes me laugh. Everyone left a bunch of comments saying, how, like, what are you doing, Mary? And then one person said in the comments, little girl, which cracked me up. This is another time that she also manipulated her photo. And I wonder does she know she's doing this? Like, is she doing this for like shits and giggles? This is a picture that she also manipulated. Like that ain't her face. And like, I like Mary Cosby. Come on, you guys. This is Mary Cosby. I think Mary is actually pretty. I don't think I'm not dogging her looks. I just think it's pretty funny that she thinks that she can get away with that. Or is she like in on the joke? And she's like, whatever, who cares? It's so fun. Anyway, it will be really fun to watch. And I'm actually very much looking forward to it. Mark Ward is our only DDD guy today in the comments. Where are the men? We are a bunch of hot women here. Where are the men? Oh, maybe you're not into us. But where are my men? As Lance just like randomly pops onto the YouTube channel. And he's like, what? Why are you calling out for men? Speaking of men, Craig Conover and I DM'd today. Look, they're all here. Andy's here. Andrew's here. Thank God you guys are here. I got a little nervous. Jennifer says, settle down, Ramona. What's the problem? I just want to get a little, flirty action. Thank you guys for being here. This is so funny. So I have to say that Craig Conover posted something on his Instagram, and it's actually so cute. Craig Conover wrote the foreword for the new Dummies book. You know that book, like Blank for Dummies? There's a new one out called Sewing for Dummies. And y'all, Craig Conover wrote the foreword. What an incredible collab. Sewing for Dummies. Mark, you are always enough. You know who else is enough? Bethenny, but we'll get there in just a moment. You and Bethenny are enough. Now, I will say it's really, really unbelievable how Craig has taken this sewing thing to a new level. Don't you guys agree? Like, it's crazy how a silly little hobby he got involved in when he was younger on the show got dogged over, got treated, horribly over. His girlfriend gave him so much shit, turned into his entire career. I mean, not really. He has 15 things going on at the same time, but Sewing Down South, now he's writing a forward for this book. It all started from just a hobby. So what is your hobby? Like, I want to know how deep diving P. Diddy is going to make me a millionaire. Deep doses of Diddy. Mm. We all have to find out a hobby that we like. And if people give you shit over it, tell them to go kiss your white BBL ass. That's what I tell them. I don't have a BBL, but look at mine. No BBL, I promise. Okay. I will tell you, over the weekend when I was talking to some girlfriends and they were asking me about the podcast, I told them that, like, I literally just woke up, and I'll never forget the day I started this show because it was January 6th. Bad day, but it was January 6th, 2023. Okay. And I was on a walk and I was like, I got to do something that just kind of fills my bucket more. And then I thought, what do I love to do? And I love talking about this stuff. I love talking about reality TV and pop culture. This was something I always loved doing. Might as well try it for myself. And sure enough, look where we are. Look where we are. Almost 2 years later, Daily Dose of Diddler is going off. It's just taken time. It's just like taken off, right? Anyway, Craig Conover, I'm so proud of him. That's so awesome. Like, seriously, so awesome for him. Now Craig has got, like, he's an author on a book, or he wrote a forward. So he's like a big synonymous with sewing. He has Sewing Down South. He has By the Wakes, which, by the way, I say By the Wakes, by the way, BTW is the name of this bar. Have any of you guys been there? He and Austin, allegedly, I don't think they're probably sole co-owners. I'm sure they're investors, but maybe they are. I don't really know the details. I'm sure we'll find all about it on the next season of Southern Charm, which made me wonder, when is the next season of Southern Charm? Like, when does it come out? I don't think we've gotten even a trailer, have we? But we know they're filming confessionals. Like, they're done filming. Anyway, so we'll have to see what happens with that because Craig is killing it. Craig and Paige are both killing it. Like, that is such a power couple. If they in fact end up together and get married, that is a power couple that I don't believe anyone can like Kyle and Mauricio, bye. Right? All power couples step aside. We've got Paige and Craig. Do you think they're going to get married? Do we actually think they're going to get married? Now, I did talk about this briefly, and I put it in the description of the show about Brett Favre. So Brett Favre is he is a former quarterback, and he has spoken, like Page Six posted basically today. He was Green Bay Packers legend, that he is 54 and he reveals he has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. So I mentioned this, and then my DMs went off because apparently this guy's not such a good guy. There's like some stuff going on, and I didn't know anything about this. So everyone in the comments is like, he stole money. He owes $700,000. He stole money from Mississippi's poorest. I didn't know a thing about this, you guys. I really, truly did not know anything about this. Now, if Brett Favre is someone who is like shady and has done financial shady things. It doesn't take away from the fact that it sucks that he got Parkinson's, that is a very sad thing. However, this is kind of crazy that this is like it's buried under the Parkinson's, because why isn't this a story? Maybe it was. So someone said, and I should probably just Google it because I don't want to tell you guys just like a hearsay thing. Brett Favre money. Okay. Brett Favre still, I'm saying it right, right? It's Favre, even though it's Favre. Brett Favre still owes Mississippi over $700,000 in misspent welfare money, auditor alleges. So basically, it says that auditor of Mississippi State, Shad White, filed a countersuit against ex-NFL quarterback Brett Favre on Monday, alleging that he owes nearly $729,000 in interest connected to over $1 million in state welfare funds given to Favre for speaking services he didn't complete, part of a massive scandal alleging Favre and others misused welfare money on personal projects. The filing from White's office said Favre, who repaid the $1.1 million in two payments in 2020 and 2021, still owes statutory interest. So he paid off the payments, but he didn't pay the interest. Favre didn't have legal right to the possession or control of the 1.1 million, White said in the filing. Adding information developed that showed Favre's involvement in the welfare scandal was much more extensive than previously believed. Okay, Favre has denied wrongdoing in the case and has not been criminally charged, and the attorneys didn't respond to inquiries. That was in February, but 3 hours ago, an article just came out from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that said Brett Favre said during a congressional hearing Tuesday that he'd recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. His place at the hearing stems from a much publicized welfare scandal in Mississippi, which I was just telling you about that. And he was at the hearing in Washington, D.C., because there was text messages that show that Brett Favre was working closely with a human services executive and nonprofit director in an effort to fundraise money for a volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi. Both the other two people that he was speaking with have been arrested for their role in misusing federal money from a program called Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, distributed to each state as a block grant. The volleyball construction used $5 million of federal dollars. $5 million of federal dollars. So basically, the text message from Favre to these other people said, if you were to pay me, is there anything the media can find out where it came from and how much? And then that is one of the many things that he did. So it sounds to me like Parkinson's is getting the headline, but this is really what we should be talking about. He's in the hearing because of misuse of funds. So that's not good, right? That's not good. And I mean, it's still horrible for Parkinson's, but I feel like he's saying it almost as an excuse or as like a distraction. I didn't do anything bad. Distraction, which reminds me, by the way, Michelle said, I don't want to talk about Diddy today. Michelle, I love you, but I don't know if I can go a day without talking about it right now. I feel like I have to because there's too much to talk about that is like it's taking over my world, and it's really important for me to talk about it. But talk about distraction. Right around during all of this time, find it interesting that Jay-Z online, I just see this article that just came out yesterday. Jay-Z pledges over $250 million to Hell's Kitchen in a bid for NYC casino license. He's pledging all this money in profit grants and this and this and that. Distraction. 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 Kim Kardashian going to see the Menendez brothers. Distraction. Don't tell me it's weird that Kim Kardashian and all the Kardashians just unfollowed P. Diddy the day before the raid. I almost feel like that looks more guilty. Wouldn't you want to be like, why am I unfollow? I shouldn't unfollow him. Like, I had no idea this was happening. The unfollow, it's kind of like a dirty delete. It's a little weird. So we're definitely going to talk about more of that stuff in just a bit. Another small story, Jen Aydin and Tamra Judge. Have you heard about this? So Tamra and Jen Aydin have some beef. Jen Aydin, I thought we'd never have to talk about Jen Aydin again, but she was on All About TRH's, which is, as we know, they're very in cahoots with Teresa. So this is a podcast duo that are very, very team Teresa. They're very friendly with Teresa. They were a big part of all these stories about, bloggers, the bloggers giving out all the information. They were the ones that were named in it, Melissa's old nose and them and whatever. Anyway, this is a story that is interesting because Tamra talked badly about Jen Aydin. Or I'm sorry, Tamra had a clip of her being mean, and Jen Aydin commented that she's being, that Tamra's being mean. And then Tamra went back after Jen. And it became this like back and forth. And you're basically taking like two of the meanest housewives and the most like dirty fighting housewives on the shows, and you're putting them together. But on their podcast, they posted a little clip, and I'll just play the clip for you guys, and you can go ahead and listen to the entire podcast if you're interested in hearing more about, what Jen Aydin has to say. But this is what she has to say.
Saying I'm the queen of mean based on a perception that is produced by a TV show. And you, as my predecessor, should know better than anybody that could be maybe a little manipulated, maybe exaggerated. Maybe you're not getting the full story. You take it with a grain of salt. She's mean intentionally on her podcast.
Yeah.
Over and over again to people deliberately.
Good
It's
point.
like, right?
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. It's like not just a show. It's like this is you in real life on your podcast, just like going after people all day.
I don't really want to attack anybody unless they attack me, which is actually why I comment in the first place. But it's like, dude, don't call me the queen of mean. You only are calling me the queen of mean based on what you see on a TV show.
Yeah.
You're the one who's mean. You are so.
No, you're mean. No, you're mean. Are these six? I love how they say you're only seeing what you're seeing on a TV show. Girl, it's a reality show. We're seeing the words that are coming out of your mouth. This is like when Alexis Bellino is all about saying, like, the producers are doing this. The producers have made me look this bad. And yes, do I believe that editing certain storylines can make you look a certain way? Abso-freaking-lutely. There's no question. We can take the same footage and edit it to tell a certain kind of story. Absolutely. However, I do believe that in this case, what people are referring to are things she's actually said on camera in a scene. It's not the way that the story is told her story. Alexis is saying producers are deciding to only put in a certain thing and only put in a certain kind of thing. I mean, only cut out certain parts and only like really make her only be the Johnny J spokeswoman. Emily was on Jeff Lewis last week on Friday, I believe, and she was talking about it. She can't stand Alexis. I love that. I love that for her. And she was saying, you don't even know because you didn't get to see what was going on when we were actually filming that scene over at Jen Pedrante's house when they had that big fight. She said we were going on forever of Alexis just crying and not being able to fully share what was going on because it was stuff that you can't really reveal. It was about the lawsuit and about this and that. So she said, we were dealing with this for hours. And that's why she just lost her shit. So I don't know. The idea of it feels like a tried and true moment, like an old, it's an old story, a tale as old as time. It's because of what the producers said. It's the producers. I don't believe that. Please. If we're seeing you comment certain things, if we're hearing you say certain things, if we're watching you say things in confessionals, you said it. It's not AI. Wouldn't that be weird if all Real Housewives was just an AI show? Anyway, I think it's so obvious, like those who claim bad editing. Now we got to talk about Bethenny. Bethenny Frankel had quite a night for herself last night at Paris Fashion Week. So I want to just give you a little bit of a background before I show you the actual walk that she posted. And I have like mixed feelings about it. Bethenny has been hinting on something really, really big on her TikTok for a long time. So a few weeks back, she's like, you guys don't even understand. Like something huge is happening. Something huge. A business that you like she basically made it sound like she was getting an opportunity of like a life-changing opportunity. So my first thought, and in fact, I was talking to my friend about this. My first thought was it was going to be probably some sort of a TV show, whether it was a reality show on TV or like a TikTok show. In fact, what we kind of deduced, because she does so well on TikTok and her people are so incredibly like obsessed with her on TikTok, like stands. I mean, I will get bullied if I dare talk badly about Bethenny on a TikTok, so I don't even dare anymore. The only thing that I think about is that if she is talking on, she's so big on TikTok. She's brought so many views to TikTok that I just thought TikTok is going to her and saying like, let's produce a TV show that's primarily or only on TikTok. It didn't really connect for me. Then she said, in that video when she talked about it, she was like, it's because of you guys. It is because of everything here. It's because of my family here on TikTok. It's because of you guys, you guys, you guys. So that's why I thought it was a TikTok related situation. Then recently at the Emmys, Reese Witherspoon was on the red carpet and she said, I actually ran into a housewife on a plane and I may be cooking some project up with them. And a lot of people were thinking it was Kyle Richards, but some people were like, wait, Bethenny's talking about this huge, big opportunity that's coming up. Reese Witherspoon is saying that she's going to be working with some sort of a housewife. Is there a world where Reese Witherspoon and Bethenny Frankel work together? And people are thinking it's this really big thing. Meanwhile, Bethenny goes to Paris Fashion Week and she's talking about something is going to be announced soon. And I can't talk about it, but it's going to be announced. And everyone is like, everyone, I don't know. People are wondering, what could it be? What could it be? Like I've told you guys before this, Bethenny blocked me on TikTok so long ago because I posted a TikTok about sue happy people. And this was when she sent that cease and desist to some of the TikTok creators and she blocked me. So I have to go to another account to see Bethenny stuff. So I don't go there often, but some days I go and I'll just binge to kind of like catch up. So that's why I saw all these videos. She went to Paris Fashion Week. She had mentioned that she was going. She was taking her daughter with her. Very sweet. I wonder if her daughter has school. Just curious. I mean, we're in the middle of a school week, right? But whatever. Paris Fashion Week. I guess that's kind of exciting. She can take a few days off. She goes to Paris Fashion Week. She's posting about stuff with her daughter. They're doing some really awkward get ready with me's. I wonder if I'm signed in on TikTok. If I'm not signed in on TikTok on my home screen, then I can just show it to you guys. Bethenny. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could just watch TikTok without signing in. I mean, I didn't even realize this. Welcome, Kelly. Kelly is a new Kelly Williams is a new YouTube member. Shout out, Kelly. Okay, Mark wants a 1-month Bethenny breather. Listen, I can't give you breathers on everyone. If I don't talk about Bethenny and I don't talk about Diddy, we're gonna do an entire hour on like what, Kelly Ben Simone? I have to talk about certain things, right? I do make a lot of chicken salad lately. I'm not going to lie. Okay. I've already announced and admitted my weird thing with Bethenny. It's like a love-hate connection, and I don't know how to explain it. I can't stand her, yet I can't get enough of her. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced with a celebrity. So anyway, Bethenny has talked about, she was like very excited about this, but she was doing all these get readies with me with her daughter. I just found it a little, did you guys find any of it? Oh, maybe she deleted it off of her TikTok and kept it on her Instagram because I'm not seeing it on her TikTok anymore. And it was of her and her daughter standing on a balcony. It's just like, I just feel like her daughter seems so sweet, Bryn, and I'm not going to show it, Bryn, to you, but her daughter seems so sweet. And I feel like, Does she want to do it? Does she want to be like, maybe she does want to be an influencer. I just don't know if she's like a natural born influencer. You know how some teens are like made for this, like with the energy and stuff. She just seems so sweet and shy. She's beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything negative about her personality. I just don't know. Like, should she be getting 1.1 million views on her mom's TikTok? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Bethenny finally posted last night this, and this was the big announcement. And I need to know your guys' thoughts. I'll read some thoughts I got from Instagram, but curious your guys' thoughts. Okay. So listen, I will tell you something. Okay. So there was the walk, which immediately I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because if you watch it, it is very an interesting, like stomping walk. And I thought, why did they give her those shoes? Why did they give her those shoes? But then she responded with this, because I guess someone asked her, what in the about her walk? And she responded with this, saying,
I'm going to tell you what I chose those shoes. L'Oreal said you could pick anything you want. And I chose those shoes because I wanted to be like a giraffe, like with like elongated legs, like one of those like long-legged creatures that walks a runway and looks like they're not even the same species. And I loved it. And the thing is that that's what the show was about. It was about not being perfect. It was about being perfectly imperfect and doing what you want to do.
okay, so that's her reason for wearing the shoes. For those of you that are wondering what she thought, why she was walking that. Now, the comments about Bethenny are going to surprise you because I asked in my stories, I posted it and I said thoughts, and I got so many comments about what people's thoughts were. So some of the examples are, love her. She's having a blast. Not a professional model, but making it her own. Histrionic personality disorder. I need a side by side with Ramona's crazy catwalk. Ramona singer energy. Her walk looks like she's having a seizure. Confused. Ew. Why the F is she walking like that? She sucks hard. Why is she walking like that? She's trotting like a horse. No. No, not a model. Don't love her, but good for her. Yikes. Let me try to find some more positive. A lot of negative, right? Lots of negative. Awkward, creepy, just no. She looks like Barbie's walking. She looks like she's in an equestrian event. Here's a positive one. Incredible. Not easy when it's not your job. Good for her. So boppy, OMG, I can't deal with this woman, so on and so forth. Okay, this Bethenny is having fun. Let her. That's a positive. Okay. Love that she doesn't take herself too seriously. She's having fun and good for her. She looks like she's having fun. I'm reading only the positives now. When I tell you, if you're looking at the video, this is the comments I got. This is insane. Like, I got more comments on this story than anything ever. The best one is, I can't unsee this, Donna. So I do believe that she was having a good time. I do think it's kind of cool that she was able to take, just promoting products on her Instagram or on her TikTok to turning into walking in a fashion show. I think I was a little confused because walking in a fashion show to me is not like the pinnacle of one's career, especially because it wasn't a supermodel fashion show. She was walking amongst Viola Davis, like actresses, right? So it's not like she got asked to do a fashion show as a supermodel. She was just asked to do like a celebrity fashion show, which we've seen so many times. How many housewives do fashion shows? It's not that big of a deal. But for her, it was a huge deal. So much so that she posted the most unhinged, like emotional video I think she's ever posted ever. This is her Oscar winning moment. We have to watch it. Sorry. Not sorry.
So easy.
I am so incredibly overwhelmed. I have never experienced something like this. I've never been given an opportunity like this that's so unexpected, and not one person guessed it because it's ridiculous. I mean, we shopped my own closet, and it really was like Little Miss Sunshine. Like, let's bring my sister Mia, who's never left the country, and everybody else had never been to Paris except for one person, and just L'Oreal for celebrating like all types, all shapes, all sizes, all cultures, all women, and like really they mean your worth. That there was no direction. It was like be who you want to be, do what you want to do. And the beauty and the fashion and the wardrobe and the multicultural, it was totally overwhelming. To say that I acted like I belonged, I kept telling everybody I was a supermodel as a joke, like deflecting like a clown, because I did not act like I belonged at all. I mean, for Jane Fonda to say hello to me, for Viola Davis to talk to me about motherhood, for like Eva Longoria to be like, I drink coffee differently because of you, for Heidi Klum to say right before I walked out, you rock it, girl, for like Cara, I'm going to mess up her name, Cara Delevingne, like when she was walking out and I was walking in, to like be like, get it, and like to high five, and Viola picked it up or I put it down. I'm overwhelmed. I can't like move for a year now. Like, this was insane. So
I can keep playing it for you. It keeps going on. It keeps going on about who she's thanking. She starts to thank like 25 people, her daughter, her this, her that, her team, her people, her L'Oreal. Here's where I'm a little, look, does this make my heart sing a little for her? Abso-freaking-lutely. This is clearly the most excited, happy moment she's ever had in her life, right? Like, this is the moment. I guess that's why I'm just so surprised, is walking in a fashion show is very cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, if one of my good friends was walking in a fashion show in Paris Fashion Week, I would be like, that is the coolest thing ever. If that said friend then went on their Instagram and posted a 5-minute crying video about how I can't believe this happened and I want to thank, every single person, and like start listing, like, I would be like, shh, Bethenny, shh. It feels like the need for validation is so high, and it's because it's lacking somewhere else. And I think we can all kind of figure that out for Bethenny. And I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a sociology major in college watching people. Like, I find this to be such a fun experience, but the crying video really did. It like threw me a little bit for a few different reasons. I realized like, wow, this really is everything to her. Like, the TikTok community are her friends. And then I thought to myself, but my dosers are my friends. Like, my dosers are, like, I consider you guys my friends. So like, am I in that same category? Would I cry hysterically? And, I feel like I'm so interested. Just don't forget that on my gravestone, if I die before Bryn's tell all, promise me you walk your ass over to my grave with the Audible version. You put your phone there, you put your Bluetooth speakers, and you leave. You let me listen to this tell-all book about what it was like to be raised under Bethenny as a mother. Got it? That's all I care about. That's literally all I care about at the end of the day. Will you read me the book if I die before it comes out? Very important. Okay. Now, for those of you that are not interested in P. Diddy, this is your warning. We are going to Diddy deep dive even more today. I have found out some more information that just is really interesting to me, and it's just stuff we have to talk about. I woke up this morning to immediately just almost be shocked over all of the different connections that are made. There is one TikTok creator who is so incredibly good at putting this all together. And her name is Kadisha. And I emailed her today, so hopefully I hear back because I am interested in chatting with her. Her name is Kadisha, and she is really, really getting this all together. But she posted something that made my eyes go, The Corey Gamble of it all. If no one's looking into Corey Gamble, as you guys know, is Kim Kardashian's mother, Kris Jenner. I love how I say Kim Kardashian's mother, like you guys don't know who Kim Kardashian's mother, like Kris Jenner is. Kris Jenner is a superstar on her own. Kris Jenner is her boyfriend is Corey Gamble. Corey Gamble started dating Kris Jenner right after he stepped off of being Justin Bieber's tour manager. Corey Gamble also happened to be very involved in that world and happened to be at Kim Porter's house the day she died. Now, I want to talk a little bit about why I'm not recapping the second part of that recap of Kim Porter's book. I saw a lot yesterday that made me question the validity of Kim Porter's book. Amazon took it off Amazon, which is a big sign. And I will not be like specifically responsible for spreading fake news if I know that it's fake. Like, if I don't know, then fine. But I did know. And so I'm assuming it's fake. So I'm not going to talk about it, the book. But don't tell me there's something a little suspect of young people dying really, really young. One of you guys, one of my dosers sent me a DM and she goes, have you ever heard of Trevor Moore? Now, Trevor Moore. Have you guys heard of Trevor Moore? I found this to be an interesting little tidbit. Trevor Moore was a writer. He wrote, actually, hold on, let me just pull up the article so I get exactly the information. He was a founding member of the Whitest Kids You Know, which was let me tell you exactly, Whitest Kids You Know, which was, oh my gosh, I am a member of Vulture. Let me in, friend. Sorry, I just need to sign in because it's making me. Vulture is something I actually do subscribe to. I like Vulture. Whitest Kids You Know was a sketch comedy troupe. And Trevor Moore was the founder. They had a self-titled IFC show that ran for 5 seasons. They did a bunch of things. He also wrote on a Disney XD series called Walk the Prank, which I remember working around those times, Just Roll With It, etc. Okay. This is where I find this to be quite interesting. Why am I bringing him up? Trevor Moore wrote a skit that ended up airing on the Comedy Central channel on YouTube. And it is called, I can't play it for you because I don't know if I'm going to get a copyright infringement. So I don't want to play it, but it's called Help Me. What is it? It is a song that was written as a comedy sketch, and the music video looked like a little Justin Bieber. So it was an actor that was like this little Justin Bieber dancing around, looking just like Justin Bieber. And the song lyrics are, help me. My parents sold me to a big producer. I'm doing things I don't want to do, etc. Okay, I'm going to just find the actual video here for you, and I'll just play it in the background with no sound, and hopefully that will be sufficient. The reason why I bring this up, don't worry, it's going to come full circle, and you're going to understand why I'm talking about this, because you're probably like, what does this guy have anything to do with Diddy? And he may not. He may not. But if you don't think that this is interesting at all, okay. Hold on. There we go. So, like I said, I'm going to play it for you quiet. It's written by Trevor Moore, and Trevor Moore is not in the video. This is an actor playing a Justin Bieber. So if you're watching the video, you're seeing some backup girl dancers, and then you're going to see a little boy that looks just like Justin Bieber. He says, I may be a little kid, but I've been around. Can hear the girls all scream soon as our wheels touch down. Junkets in Tokyo, fashion shoots in Milan. Then a private jet to Madison Square Garden. 36 week-long tours, 10 singles on the chart. So hear my message, girl, because it comes from the heart. Help me. My parents sold me to a big producer in the record industry. He makes me do things that I don't want to do. Please call child services or maybe SVU. You got to help me. My parents sold me. Okay. And it goes on and on and on. So why does that have anything to do with this? So Trevor Moore died. The writer of this article, this song, and many other things died, which happens, right? But he died at 41 years old from falling off a balcony, from blunt force head trauma at 41 years old here in Los Angeles. A successful comedy writer, married, fell off a balcony at 41 years old, according to Deadline and Variety. This is the article that came up on Deadline. Now, I'm just putting things together here. No one has told me that this is connected. Trevor Moore, comedian, actor, producer, and co-founder of the sketch comedy group The Whitest Kids You Know, died Friday evening in an accident. We are devastated by the loss of my husband, best friend, and the father of our son, etc., his wife said. It's talking all about his jobs and what he did. And I don't know if this article is actually talking about specifically how he died or whatever. But yes, that's how he died. He fell off a balcony at 41. Okay. You know, it's interesting when you hear about all these young people that are dying of pneumonia, like Kim Porter. Kim Porter died, a healthy woman in her 40s, of pneumonia. That's not something that happens often, guys. I don't know what it is, why so many people are dying of pneumonia. Like, do you guys remember the girl from Clueless? Now I can't remember. Brittany Murphy? She died from pneumonia too. And so did her husband. 2 weeks later. What about Aaron Carter? There's a lot of weird stuff that's coming out, you guys. I don't like Kanye West, okay? I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't like Kanye West. I really find him to be a disgusting human being because of a lot of things he said, especially about Jews, which to me was like the starting and inciting a lot of anti-Semitic stuff that was around. That being said, Kanye has been talking about this for a long time. He's been talking about Corey Gamble. He's been talking about Aaron Carter. And days before Aaron Carter was found dead, he tweeted to Kanye, we've got to talk man to man. I don't know. Am I insane to go down these conspiracy theories? Now, I don't want this to be like a Kate Middleton story because at the end of the day, like, who are we talking about? We're talking about a monster, P. Diddy. So, like, do I think he was above everything? Like all these people that died, all these people that were dying. Jay-Z had an affair with this young woman, I guess, who ended up being pregnant. I don't know if this is before Beyonce. I don't remember. She died. She died, girl. That's a Jeff Lewis clip. A new lawsuit just came out today. According to TMZ, a new lawsuit just came out because this is what's going to happen, you guys, is that the more people that talk about Diddy, the more people will talk about Diddy, right? Because the more people that know things have been so scared, petrified, and like, you know, whatever, they don't want to talk about it. Now they're talking about it. But this new rape accuser speaks with Gloria Allred. If you guys know Gloria Allred, she's a very, very famous prosecutor, and she is representing this new case. So this new case is coming out and basically this is an awful case. So I'm going to be a little careful about what I say, but it says now Diddy is sued again because apparently at the Bad Boy Record Studio in New York City, according to this new lawsuit, Talia Graves is the woman. She says that she's had suicidal thoughts since Diddy and his head of security, Joseph Sherman, raped her back in 2001. This is according to TMZ. She was only 25 years old and dating one of Diddy's employees when he lured her into a meeting with him and Sherman alone, where she says they sequestered her, gave her a drink likely laced with the drug that eventually caused her to briefly lose consciousness. She claims she woke up to find herself bound and restrained, with Diddy and Sherman proceeding to brutally SA and violate her, mercilessly graping her anally and vaginally. I am so sorry. This is a lot, you guys, but it's just awful. She says she's had extensive psychological treatment since. It's just been awful. She's never reported because she's been scared that Diddy and Sherman would use their power to ruin her life. The stories will continue to come out. It didn't stop where it's not like it's been 5 people over the last, you know what I mean? Like this has been happening forever, and it probably would have continued to happen, continuously. Awful. Just absolutely awful. Now, I'm really like my personal connection to this all is the Justin Bieber of it all. I feel very, very connected to this because of my whole feelings about child stars and why young people should not get into the industry. And this kid was completely taken from being the most talented. I mean, Justin Bieber to me is so damn talented. And I don't believe that she is, in any way, that Justin Bieber in any way was treated correctly or fairly in this situation, just like so many other child stars that go off, right? If you watch the documentary, which is one of my favorite music documentaries of Justin Bieber when he was young, when he was discovered and Usher is in it and everything, go watch it with Scooter Braun. And I'm curious what Scooter Braun's connections are here. Do I think he was part of it? No. But do I think he was allowing maybe for a lot of bad behavior? Maybe. I don't know. We haven't heard much yet, but if you go back and watch these old documentaries of Justin, like this is a kid that is so damn innocent and so damn cute and so talented. And then all of a sudden he's, going off the deep end, getting in trouble, getting in fights, alcohol, drugs. Now he's sober. Thankfully, he seemed to have met a really good woman in Hailey Baldwin Bieber. And hopefully, now he's a father and hopefully he's on the right track. But, he did an interview about protecting Billie Eilish, wanting to protect Billie Eilish. This was a tearful interview that resurfaced. This was when he was promoting his album Changes in 2020. And this is when Billie Eilish had just exploded on the scene. He said he reached out to her to offer industry insights and support. He said, I just want to protect her. I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Eilish was going through at the time like a meteoric rise to fame. And do you remember in Billie Eilish's documentary, which I don't know if any of you guys have seen, I think it aired on Amazon Prime or something like that. It was back in 2020. It was like during COVID times, I feel like. In that documentary, she talks about how she's obsessed with Bieber. Like Justin Bieber was her idol and she gets to go to a show and meet him. And so he probably, felt even stronger about trying to kind of protect her. Here's like a little bit, let me show you guys just a little bit of this interview that you can find on YouTube from Justin Bieber.
Have led up to this album. There's been some really significant change in your life, and the album being called Changes focuses on one.
Mm-hmm. But I just want to find
wife in the world. She supports me through so much.
What was going through your mind when you saw that kind of reaction?
I wanted to protect the moment. I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get. We never know how many opportunities we're going to get with anybody. I mean, I'm tearing up thinking about it, just with the Kobe situation, I just wanted to be a good example. And it was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn. And everyone, you know, telling me they love me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second. So if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
You can't watch that and not feel for him. This is a young boy whose parents basically just like gave him to Usher to, you know, just be famous. And the little boy, of course, is like, hell yeah, that's Usher. I've always liked Justin Bieber. I've always felt a connection to him. I've always liked him. And I love his music. I find his music to be so wonderful and beautiful. And if you listen to the lyrics, now I'm like listening to everything, right? You know that song, My Mama Don't Like You, but She Likes Everyone. I'm like, who's he talking about? I know it's like meant to be about a girl. I don't know. And if you listen to the song Lonely, it's bad. And Stephen Baldwin, yeah, Haley Baldwin. So his father-in-law, Stephen Baldwin, who, you know, you can write off as being a little cuckoo birdie, has talked a lot about this. Not in general, like not in specifics, but just talking about this stuff. So it's really, really sad. I think Justin Bieber was the prime example of a victim. A young child who was put into situations, most likely, this is all a legend, this is all just assumed, with a shit ton of drugs and alcohol, way more than any kid should be around. And by the way, how many of us would do it if you were 16, 15 years old and you were at P. Diddy's house and all of a sudden you're being offered some alky and some drugs and like hot chicks? Don't tell me that P. Diddy didn't send a couple girls to, you know, give him a good time. I'm sure he'd, or guys, or men. After hearing what we've heard, yesterday I had a comment in my on my YouTube here where someone said, please do not take words from Jaguar Wright or Cat Williams as serious journalism. And I want to say those are the only people that I want to take as serious journalism. I don't trust what the news tells us anymore. I don't trust what like journalists say. I don't trust any of it because all of these people have known, not all, but so many have known and have hid everything that they've known to protect themselves, to protect their lives. This is 100%. This is who you should be trusting are the Jaguar Wrights, are the Gene Deals, are the Cat Williams, are the Aubrey O'Days, are the Justin Biebers if he decides to speak. The victims, the ones who saw it. That's who we that's who we need to listen to now. Not what like the world is spinning, because God knows how many people out there are still spinning. Think about how many people are scared in their freaking pants right now. I also saw an article that Diddy's bodyguard says there are videos of politicians at these freak-offs. Now, oh, this is the best. I also got a comment the other day saying, stop calling them freak-offs. It's so insulting. I thought to myself, what? We're insulting P. Diddy? What should I call them? That's what they call them. Freak-offs. Diddy's bodyguard says politicians were very much involved. This is Gene Deal, of course, you guys. If you don't know who Gene Deal is, Gene Deal, that's G-E-N-E, Deal, D-E-A-L. He is incredibly interesting to watch. He has a lot of really interesting takes on this whole thing. But he basically says that there were many celebrities and politicians in these videos. And there's videos out there, which is just insane. He also says, Gene Deal says, Puff wasn't born a monster. He was made into a monster. He was made into a monster because of what happened to him and because of the things he had to do. To keep it frank, he was doing to other people what was done to him. That's a learned behavior. They was heavy into the drugs. This is what Gene Deal says. They was heavy into beating women and doing things at that crazy stage that's going to make him think he can get away with the same things that they was getting away with back then. I'm not going to say allegedly, he says, because I saw that for my own self. His karma was bound to catch up with him. He brought it on himself. He said Deal concluded that Diddy's arrest will go down as one of the greatest tragedies in hip-hop history, alongside the infamous deaths of Tupac and Biggie Smalls. He knew that he was wrong, and he knew that he learned something that wasn't right. He knew that if something is wrong, you get help, and he didn't choose none of that, is what he said. What's crazy about all of this is he put it on video. It's all going to come out because he documented all of his bad behavior to put other people in positions like, oh shit, I better be quiet because he's got me on video. It's really, really wild. I find it all to be so interesting. I find it interesting, and I don't say this in like a positive way, but I did have like a little bit of a moment where I said, why is the world so obsessed with this? Why? Why is the world so obsessed with this story? And I think it's a few things. I was born in 1981. So if you're around my generation, around my year, you grew up to this, right? You grew up to Diddy. When I was in Diddy is my high school experience. If I hear every step I take, obviously not the original Sting version, but if I hear that song, I'm immediately 16 years old driving down Westwood Boulevard, smoking a cigarette, hoping that the guy that I have a crush on, pages me, texts. I mean, I don't even know what we were doing back then. Calls me, I guess. If I listen to any of his songs, like, who's hot, who's not, tell me who's hot, like all those songs, like I'm back at a party. I am in my car. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm dancing at a wedding. It's like, these are this was our life. So that's a huge part of it. Number two, it's the wild domino stacking. It's the dominoes of it all, which is so crazy. It's the chain event that will occur, hopefully. If everything goes according to plan, it will be a chain reaction. Many people that we have spent our time and our lives looking up to are criminals, are monsters. And there's something about that that feels very enticing as a human being. And I don't know why. It's starting to realize like these people are flawed, right? They're flawed. They're not perfect human beings, these Jay-Z's of the world, right? Yeah, you can donate all you want to Hell's Kitchen. You can be at I have a friend whose kids go to school with them, and he was out in the yard the other day fist bumping all the kids because he's like the nice guy. The nice guy, I'm telling you, this was crazy. This is all crazy. And yeah, I'm just going to let it be. The Kardashians unfollowing P. Diddy the day before the raid, the day before anyone knew about the raid. It's giving something not innocent is what I can tell you. I don't know I'm not saying Kim Kardashian did anything bad. I'm just saying it's the connections. It's the Corey Gamble saying, team Kardashian thread, unfollow Diddy now. But that's me saying that looks guilty. I was never his friend, or the deleting of the tweets. Oh, they're magically, I was hacked. They're deleted. Oh, but it's so weird. I can't get them back. It's all sus and I can't get enough of it. And I'm sorry if that makes me a bad human being, but like, I try to engage in legal behavior in my life. Like, I'm not freaking off anywhere. By the way, do you remember that song Freak Like Me? Adina Howard. That was like one of my favorite songs when I was a kid. I want to freak in the morning, freak in the evening, just like me. I want to, oh my God. I would sing that when I was a kid. I want a roughneck that would satisfy me just for me. If you are that kind of man, because I'm that kind of girl. I want a freaky deaky every time, because we don't give a damn about a thing, because I'll be a freak. Freak off. I was singing about freak offs at 9. No, I think I was a little older. Okay, you guys, I love you. Sorry for another supersize. I think until Diddy's over, we're supersizing. Like, I'm just going to keep talking. I'm not worried. Don't freak off me. All right, freaking off here, you guys. I am freaking off. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. I love seeing some of your names that I haven't seen here in a long time. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.